Time for another Horizon board game expansion. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Thunderjaw expansion. So I mentioned in the previous video that we are now moving towards giant monster expansions. So rather than a typical expansion where you have lots of different miniatures and boards and gameplay mechanics, etc., these expansions are centered around one specific big machine. So there'll be one big machine in here, and then there'll be some cards and a board centered around the machine. The idea is that you would have this machine at the end of a full campaign. So you would do your first 4 missions, you would do your Hunter's Call, and then you would do the giant boss at the end. It makes it super interesting because at that point you should have all of the best gear that you can pretty much get on the final mission. And it just means that you can then try your best as a group to take down these giant machines. So it's a pretty cool concept, although it does of course further extend the gameplay of the campaign. Absolutely no chance would you be in the 60 to 90 minute range if you wanted to do a full campaign plus a giant machine at the end. We once did a mission which ended, I think, with the Stormbird, and we literally had to save the Stormbird to the next day because it was an 8-hour long campaign. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's have a look at the back. So the back says, the Thunderjaw is an expansion for Horizon Zero Dawn, the board game, allowing the hunters to face this colossal and awe-inspiring enemy in a heart-pounding encounter, either at the end of a new tracking deck or as part of a hunt the players have already undertaken. So yeah, as I said, it would be at the end of the tracking deck, or you can actually have this as the Hunter's Call. It just decides depends what you want to do with it. Be warned, whether the hunting party's original quarry or an additional challenge worth greater glory in the eyes of the Lodge, this is a machine like none you've encountered before. Will you survive the onslaught of a Thunderjaw, or become just another victim of its wrath? And of course you need a copy of Horizon board game in order to play it. Right, let's open it up. So inside we have the usual instruction booklet, and we also have instructions on how to assemble the Thunderjaw because it's going to be in pieces. Underneath that we have a board, so these aren't individual tiles, this is a full board. So if I pull this like this, you can see they fold out. It's a 4, well I guess it's 2x2 board, but it's 4 grids, as you can see, all connected, and that's where you would fight the Thunderjaw. And then it's very simple. Underneath that we have the miniature in air quotes because it's not miniature at all, and then we have the cards related to it. So we'll take a look at the cards first of all. So there are 2 cards for this, and that's because you can take on the Thunderjaw with 3 to 4 players or as 1 to 2 players, and there's so much information that varies depending on the difficulty that you've got to have 2 sides to this. The main difference I think you can see here is that it has 10 HP less for 1 to 2 players. I feel like they should probably give it a lot less than 10 HP less, but it is what it is. So that's the machine information. Underneath that we have a handful of cards, so not too many. We have a tracking deck, so this is a full tracking deck using the base game, so that's why the boards are A. So it's a new tracking deck. All the machines are going to be the ones that you can get in the base game, as you can see. So what you could do is play this with the Thunderjaw being the Hunter's Call, being the final boss at the end, or you can just put this one at the end of your other tracking deck. It's however you want to do it. Underneath that we have the disc launcher. So just like with one of the other machines, I think it was the Ravager maybe, I can't remember exactly, but in one of the other expansions you could shoot components off the machines that would be useful as weapons. So as in the main video game, you can shoot off the disc launcher and then use it as a weapon. Pretty powerful weapon as well, so definitely worth doing that. So there's 2 of these. And then underneath that we have the behavior deck, and there's quite a lot of cards. So I think we're looking at 8 cards, and as per usual, you would turn those over, shuffle them, and then use them to determine what the Thunderjaw does. And he's a pretty savage guy. And then last, but of course by no means least, we have the Thunderjaw himself. So let's get the parts out. See, we have a leg over here, then the other leg over there. Here is his main body. Will look a lot more impressive once it's put together. And then we have the base. So let's construct him. So we have the base down here, and then we've got the 2 legs that fit on. There's only one way that they fit on, so not too complicated. If we have a look, you see this piece here, and then you've got this piece like this. So he would fit on like that, and then same on the other side, that leg would go on like that. Then finally we'd attach it to the base, which fits in only one position. There we go, and there is your Thunderjaw. So he is pretty enormous, but yeah, he's a pretty awesome looking machine. Definitely one of the coolest designs in Horizon, and of course in the board game, and makes a pretty menacing foe. So you can see on the board he actually would be considered in 4 squares at once because of how large he is, which is pretty crazy. So I don't think his spaces can be shared by other machines, certainly not large machines, but they can be shared with other hunters. But yeah, that is the Thunderjaw. Pretty cool, very nice looking miniature, I guess. We'll be taking a look at the other bosses in other videos, so stay tuned for those. I'll see you next time.